The default format for any workbook created here in Excel 2010 is the new XML-based format with the .xlsx extension, as we see here with our expense budget. So that means when we go to create a new workbook, that's the format that's going to be used. Let's test it out. We'll click File, then click New, and let's just create a blank workbook. With that selected, click the Create button. And we'll just type something in here like 2 trees budget. And when we press enter, we've actually made a change to our blank workbook. We've started something new. By default, it's going to be named the word book and then a number. You may see a different number than I. That's just because of the automatic numbering method. So if you created several new workbooks, you'll see a different number. When we go to save this by clicking File and then Save, you're going to notice the name stays there with the extension .xlsx. And if you're working in a mixed environment where maybe the majority of people you collaborate with are using an older version like Excel 2003, you're going to find yourself going to the Save As Type drop-down here, selecting Excel 97 to 2003 workbook, and then clicking Save. And you're going to find yourself repeating this process over and over. So let's click Cancel. And we'll close this up without saving it. So we'll click the File tab, choose Close, and we'll say Don't Save. Now let's change the default so you don't have to go through that process every time you want to save to an older version. To do that, we go back to Backstage View by clicking the File tab, and this time we're going to select Options. Over here on the left-hand side in the navigation pane, we'll click Save, and over here under Save Workbooks, you'll see Save Files in this format, and sure enough, there's the default .xlsx. We can click this drop-down and choose from any format and make it the default. So if you do find that you save to an Excel workbook for 97 to 2003, more often than not, you might want to make that your default. Or maybe you save macro-enabled workbooks using the new format more often than not. You could make that the default. But let's just choose Excel 97 to 2003 workbook, and we'll click OK. Now anytime we create something new, that will be the default format that we save to, and if we want to choose something different, we would have to do that. So let's go back to File and New. With blank workbook selected, we'll click Create. And you'll notice automatically in the title bar something different appears here. We still see book and then a number, and then we see compatibility mode. So we're working in compatibility mode automatically because this workbook is about to be saved as a .xls file, an Excel 97 to 2003 format. So we'll type in the same thing, 2 trees budget. Press enter, and we'll go to save it. This time we'll go to the quick access toolbar and click the Save button. And notice the extension is .xls now. It's going to be saved to that older format by default because of the change we made in the options. And if we wanted to save it to something other than this format, we would have to go to this drop-down. So we'll just click Save. And it's saved in that format. And we continue to work in compatibility mode here in Excel 2010. So if you do work in a mixed environment and you find yourself saving to an older format more often than not, consider going to Backstage View and changing the default save format to that older format.